Alright, just to give you guys a bit of a fair warning, I am going to be putting up a lot of reviews and podcasts for the next week or so because I'm leaving for college on the 17th, so I really want to make one last hoorah of making weekday videos because I won't be able to do those for a while. But in the meantime, put that aside, it's time to review a masterpiece. Drive stars Ryan Gosling as an unnamed protagonist who we can basically assume his character's name as Driver, a stunt driver for movies by day, but he's a getaway driver for criminals at night. He has a very precise structure of how he handles his jobs in which he gives his criminals only a certain amount of time to complete the job. That way it gives him enough time to think over his plan and the way he's going to escape the police for the getaway. His boss, Shannon, played by Bryan Cranston from my all-time favorite TV show, Breaking Bad, hell yeah, Heisenberg, sets him up with this new shady client, Bernie Rose, played by Albert Brooks. While in the meantime, Driver strikes up a relationship with his single mother neighbor, played by Carey Mulligan, but the relationship hits a halt when her husband from jail returns home, played by Oscar Isaac. But he is soon in a predicament of his own in which he has to pull off one final job to ensure his family's safety and his debt that he needs to make off. So he sets up Driver with one more job that he needs to complete to be his getaway driver, but things go very wrong, and that's where the film kicks in with a very high-octane thriller. Drive is one of the 3 movies that I saw all the way back in July at Comic-Con, and is definitely my favorite by far. In addition, it's my favorite movie of this year so far. The fact that Nicolas Winding Refn won the Best Director Cannes Film Festival Award made me even more psyched, because when you see this movie, it has his direction written all over, in which it is his masterpiece for sure. This is a very daunting challenge for Ryan Gosling as an actor because his character doesn't really speak that much throughout the film. He's very silent at times, and when he does deliver his lines, it's very slow, but it's facial expressions that really do the majority of his acting, but in a very great way. His character pays a lot of odes to those that you see in the neo-noir genre that remain very silent, which makes you more wary of what they're going to do once they hit their breaking point, and Gosling just follows that measure very well in this film. Carey Mulligan drives the majority of the emotional strength of this movie, as her performance style is very similar to Gosling's, but she continues to show that she's one of the best actresses working in this generation. In addition, Bryan Cranston and Ron Perlman, who have supporting character roles, they also do a pretty good job, even though their characters were a little bit underutilized than I thought they would be. And is it me, or is just Bryan Cranston deciding to have hair in every movie that he does and just stay bald in every episode of Breaking Bad he does? It's definitely a theory I've been working up on, so tell me if I'm right. However, in my opinion, I think the real standout in this film was Albert Brooks as the new shady businessman who gets intertwined within the last job that Driver does. Usually he's known for playing neurotic characters in most of the movies that he does, but here he gets to play a very shady and very slimy businessman when things go wrong. And it was definitely great to see him make that change in his acting range because he has some of the best scenes in this movie, just being very evil and intimidating towards anyone who gets in his way. Director Nicolas Winding Refn has definitely become the new Tarantino of this generation, but definitely without the humor, because there aren't a lot of pick-me-up moments in this movie at all, trust me. He builds up these moments of unbelievable tension which lead to some very shocking and sometimes extremely bloody violence at times, which definitely reminded me of the same style that Tarantino did back in his early films like Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. In addition, he uses the sudden tone change very well, especially in what is sure to be the most talked about scene in this film that takes place in an elevator between 3 of the characters, and it ends in a scene that makes the curb stomping scene in American History X look like a Pixar movie. The chase sequences are filmed to perfection as they're really filmed in that old school style that reminds you of films like Bullet, The 7-Ups, and The French Connection, in which it's all very still, everything you can see going on, but it also has these angles of just being placed on the back of a car to capture all the action that's going on behind. And it was definitely a new switch that really made the film a lot more entertaining in those sequences, even though there's really only 2 or 3 chase sequences in the film. And the cinematography by Newton Thomas Sigel is breathtaking. There are nighttime shots of Los Angeles there just beautiful to look at. And it also hints on to the very moody tone that the film mostly conveys up until the part where all hell breaks loose. But at the same time, while it's a very violent film, it's also very beautiful to look at because there's a lot of art house images that really get to you. Overall, Drive is an unforgettable thriller with a lot of touches of art house themes and neo-noir pokes in it too. Definitely the best movie I've seen this year. At the same time, while it doesn't have a lot of dialogue, it really adds on to the beneficiary of making this movie very tense, and you get really on the edge of your seat when it comes to the action scenes that do happen. Very shocking at times too. I just had a great time with this film when I saw it, and definitely the best this year. Ryan Gosling is turning into a man crush for me. I hope I don't sound gay for saying that though, but I'm giving Drive 5 stars. It's the absolute best movie of the year so far. It's definitely not one for everybody because in the trailers they're marketing it as an all-out action movie, but if you're a film geek and anyone who appreciates his art house films and neo-noir genres as well, this is going to be a film that you're going to call a masterpiece for decades to come. So I hope you enjoyed my review of Drive. Stick around for the lots of videos that I will be bringing you for the next week, including some LTA Movie Club reviews, which I'll be reviewing older movies for 2 days next week. And I have a podcast coming up soon. Got Contagion tomorrow, Killer Lee on Sunday. Too much to count, so I'll just cut it now. In the meantime, I'm Tyler from Cali Critic Reviews, and check out these other reviews, and I'll see you guys later.